This video is about adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers. I'll be talking about the why behind, the reason for when one adds or subtracts positive and or negative numbers. I would like to give my outline so that you will know what I am talking about and in what order. First, I'll be giving my introduction. Then I'll talk about the specific cases when the first number is positive. The specific cases will be 5 plus 2, 5 minus 2, 5 plus negative 2, and 5 minus negative 2. Arizona will be helping us with these examples. Next, I'll be talking about what happens when the first number is negative. Michigan will be helping us with these examples. The first one will be negative 5 plus 2. Then it will be negative 5 minus 2, negative 5 plus negative 2, and negative 5 minus negative 2. And at the end, I'll go over a summary over this whole video. In this video, I'll use two rulers to represent the number line. This one represents the negative part of the number line. This one represents the positive part of the number line. In this video, facing forward means that you're going to add, facing towards positive infinity. Hopefully you understand why this is later and why this is the case later. I wanted to share this with you now. Facing the opposite way, facing towards negative infinity, means that you'll be subtracting, having a minus sign when you write down an equation. And again, hopefully that you'll understand why this is the case later on in the video, but I wanted to share these rules with you now so you know them as we go on with the video. Next, I'd like to share what if you add or subtract a positive and negative number, what that means. What does it mean if it's positive? What does it mean if it's negative? And Twirly will help us with this section. If Twirly moves forward from her perspective, we consider that a positive number being added. Suppose that she wants to add 4, she would go 4, and you realize that 4 is a positive number. Now suppose that she wants to go 3, she'll move 3 steps. If she wants to go 2, she'll move 2 steps. If she wants to go 1, she'll move 1 step. 0, no steps. If she wants to go negative 1, she will go back. So therefore, negative numbers on either operation will be considering walking backward in her perspective. Suppose that she has the other perspective of facing towards negative infinity. A positive number would mean that she's walking forward. A negative number would still mean that she's walking backward. Before we go into specific cases for where it's positive and negative, you're adding and subtracting, I would like to give a generalization, and if you need further explaining, you can look at those specific cases. For example, suppose that Twirly is looking forward, but she walks backwards. Based on what we said so far, if she's looking forward, she is adding. But if she's walking backward, she is adding a negative number. This action would be exactly the same as if she was facing towards negative infinity and walking forward from her perspective, which can be thought as subtracting a positive number, and normally if you subtract a positive number, the positive is implied. So adding a negative number is the same thing as subtracting. I will also like to give a generalization. What happens if you subtract a negative number? You could be at, say, 0. If you subtract a negative number, you're facing negative infinity. And also, because you're subtracting a negative number, you'll be walking backwards. And so your motion would look like this. Please notice this motion. You're walking towards positive infinity. So you can think this as the equivalent as adding, because you're facing now towards positive infinity, adding a positive number because you're walking forward from your perspective. So subtracting a negative number means that you're adding a positive number. And when you add a positive number, the positive part is implied. As we've shown just now, adding a negative number means that you're subtracting. As you can see from these two examples, it can be helpful to think of the positive, the adding, that if you have that, then the situation will not change. However, if you have a negative sign, you can think of the opposite will be happening. The next part of the series of videos is about those cases that have the first number being positive. That means that they include positive 5, not negative 5. Attached is a link that you can click if you would wish.